Jason, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. You been a good boy this year?
Always a good boy.
Good, because Drunky Claus has bought you a present.
My favorite.
It's a Van Winkle Rye bottle full of piss. Welcome back to Our Cynical Culture. I'm Matt.
Jason.
And we got our good buddy Jade with us, who has brought us a very beautiful Christmas present. Thank you, sir. How are you doing?
Beautiful Christmas present. This one's a shout out to my brother Jesse.
I didn't say it ain't from Jade.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
But this is one shout out to Jesse Kyle. He's brought us the Van Winkle Family
Jesse is
Reserve
here.
Rye.
He's off camera. So
yeah, he's
so
off
thank
camera
you,
over there
Appreciate you,
giggling.
sir.
So
yeah, no, I'm very appreciative that you guys brought this specifically for me. And
it's mine. It's mine.
Only me. And because you're so generous, I'm actually going to share with the both of you. So the three of us can partake in this
awesome,
beautiful Christmas
and
present.
Jason
What about
can
me?
just drink beer.
Oh, wait. Were you? I forgot you were here, man.
Please,
Yeah.
please, sir, may I have another?
Please, sir, may I have some more?
Please.
Yeah.
I do think though this is one of Jason's favorite all-time pours.
I don't like it. I don't
This
like
is
this.
this is one of those absolutely amazing bottles, and I think even on like the Pappy spectrum, I think it's like it's not on the people's radar like it should be. But
Agreed.
It's a fucking phenomenal. We'll get into that when we get into that.
We
But
will.
how have you been, man? How's your Christmas been?
Good. It's been great.
Yeah.
Went back home to Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
Spent 4 or 5 days, and I'm glad to be back in Lexington. But it's good to go home.
Yeah, good deal. We are right in the middle of Christmas and New Year's, so it seemed apropos to do a celebratory bottle.
The first Van Winkle bottle we've had on the show.
I know. We could probably do Van Winkle.
We probably couldn't.
But it's not. They get done a lot. Everybody knows what Van Winkle is. You know, everybody
I still
knows
like to
what
have
Pappy
them.
is. Yeah. You want to do like a whole set?
Yeah, once you get us one, buy the
could
whole
do the whole
set.
set.
What do you think we can get it for? About 10K, 12K.
10 or 12, you should be able to.
Matt,
Okay.
get us one. Please.
Ask and you shall receive.
Yeah, get that for
I'll
us.
fucking put the set together for you, and then when I do, you can suck my dick.
No, I'm out. I'm out.
Jason, what have you been up to for holiday season?
Not much, man. Unfortunately, I got a little sick, so I didn't get to do much for Christmas. Feeling much better now.
Yeah.
But I did get to go up to a family's Christmas, and that was fun. I gifted my cousin-in-law. He makes sure I say that. I don't
My
want to say
cousin-in-law.
My cousin-in-law.
he
gifted-
wants to be sure everybody knows that he's not that close
It's
to
not
you.
blood cousin, but
No, not blood
in-law.
cousin at all. But I gifted him an Elmer T. Lee. So he was
Nice.
very, very excited. And
Yeah.
I told him he owes me about $150.
Yeah,
you know, so.
I love that $30/$150 bottle.
What about you? What have you been up to?
I've actually been sick too. Like you can
Oh,
still hear it in my
sick
voice.
brothers.
Yeah, it's been going around. You remember the last show where I had a finger injury? It's a little more serious than
Remember the
I
last
thought.
show I told you?
Yeah. You were like, you got
ten.
tendon damage. I was like, no, I don't. No, it's just jammed really bad, dude. Yeah, apparently I have something called mallet finger. So
is not good.
Yeah, my first knuckle, my tendon ripped
Slips.
when I was in that pit over at the Meshuggah concert, and the doctor's like, yeah, you got to put it in a splint for 10 weeks. That's all you can do.
She'll listen to Dr. Hale. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. No.
It reminds me of the scary movie. It's like, grab my strong hand. He's got a turkey over there.
Yeah. So besides that, man, it's been pretty low key. Looking forward to New Year's.
Same.
Also looking forward to drinking this beautiful bottle here. So I assume you've done a little bit of background on this one.
I don't know anything about it.
No? Okay, let's just open it then.
So
I can't wait for you to get into what you were telling me about the cap. I think that's bad as shit. But go
I'm
ahead.
gonna hold off on that. I'm gonna hold off
You're
on
just
that.
not going to say anything?
So I think people know, the Van Winkle name or Pappy, they'll call it that. Not all the bottles are Pappy. So Pappy starts at 15-year-old, then you got the 20 and 23. They also have a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old. Those are bourbons. And then this is the only rye of the bunch. This one though is a special place to me. I mean, it's one of my favorite pours I've had.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and preface by saying that it's going to be probably worth it for me. Very excited to try this one again. I've only had it a handful of times. Always a great pour. Always a great pour. With this one, we'll start a little bit off about what it is. So it's 13-year-old. It is rye. It is what would be called barely rye. Means that 51% of the mash bill is rye. So very low, content. It's the lowest you could be in being rye. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why a lot of bourbon drinkers would probably, gravitate towards this one.
Yeah.
It's not the 95.5. So some of the MGP stuff, They're 95% rye, where
Okay.
this one's 51.
Okay.
It's 95.6 proof, so it's not, really, really proofed up. It's not barrel strength, and then 13 years old. So all those things together, I hate to say the word, but it should make it very smooth,
Yeah.
Okay. So very, very excited to try it.
13 years is that long for rye?
It is pretty long for a rye. You don't see too many over that. There's been some famous ones. You got like Thomas Handy in the antique collection with Buffalo Trace, but that's younger. I mean, you're probably looking
Half that.
4 to 5.
Yeah, 6
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
think.
Okay. Maybe.
Yeah, so half what the Van Winkle Rye is.
You got Parker's Heritage. They don't do like an annual release out of Heaven Hill, but they'll do like a 10-year-old, 8-year-old. They've done a few different
Is
ryes.
it age stated? I don't know if it's
Yeah,
age
the front
stated
of
or
it will
not.
be. So I want to say the heavy char rye is about 8 or 10, and then the one they just came out with this year was an 8 or 10. So it's flip flopped, one of those two. Okay. And then of course you got Sazerac, the 18-year-old out of Buffalo Trace.
Oh yeah.
So again, 13 years. It's very, very good for
I think
rye.
the proof though is kind of odd. Why be 95.6?
I agree with that. I don't know. I don't know why. Now I did listen to. There's a YouTube video out there, and I want to say it's from like 2017. It is Preston Van Winkle. It's like the 4th in line from Pappy.
Yeah.
And he's in Manchester, England, I guess, talking, and he talks about how they like a low entry proof. They like a lower entry proof than what Buffalo Trace even wants to do with their product now. Mm-hmm. I guess in that time he was saying they were doing some experiments with it, but I've never heard anything else about that. This is the only thing I've ever heard that mentioned.
Interesting. Okay.
Now Buffalo Trace does have Warehouse X, which is a lot of experiments taking place.
Yeah.
Not a porn shop, Mike. Get your head out of the gutter. But maybe they have some stuff there.
Yeah. I love how much interest you've shown in Warehouse X in the past 2
I
episodes.
do like Warehouse X.
Well, I've heard nil about this, and all of a sudden Jason's.
Every episode I'm gonna bring it up.
I know.
Every
It's
single
going to be
episode.
like a
He
continuing
was,
thing.
he was
there.
talking about that when we went to Knoxville.
Yeah. We passed by that place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Truck
actually
stop.
Yeah,
I think that was XXX.
Warehouse X is
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, something else about this. So, MSRP on this bottle is $119.99. If you find this bottle at MSRP, you're a hell of a person because it is
Congratulations,
not happening. I'd say cheapest you could buy this even in a store is probably $250.
Right.
That's its cheapest. And then you look at the secondary price, $1,300, $1,300 plus.
Is that
for
the
this one.
highest it's ever been, or has it been higher than that?
No, it's been a little higher, I
Yeah,
believe.
it's probably around 17, 18.
That's what I was thinking, 17, 18.
I feel like when it first came out, it wasn't hovering right around 1,000.
So it depends. I mean, you look back, the bourbon boom, we're on the end of it, in my opinion.
Right.
We've seen the whole side of it. We've seen it when it first started to now.
Right.
But they've only been making this one since, 97, 98.
Right.
So not as long as like some of the other Pappy stuff.
Okay.
So anyway, let's open it. We'll let Jade do the honors since it's his.
Are you really not going to talk about the cap?
Yeah, very.
Damn it.
So-
Give me a
It's
minute.
coming up.
Is it coming up? Do you
Do I
have
have to do all the talking? You talk.
So how do you know that this bottle hasn't been opened before?
I'm glad you asked. So not only can you tell that this foil is not tampered with, there's actually an NFC chip in the top.
I'll get
So
it close up
if you scan this with your phone, it will tell you, hey, this is a Buffalo Trace product. This is Van Winkle Rye or whatever. And then once you crack that seal, it will tell you it's been opened. So I don't think, unless they figured out how to do it, they can actually reverse that if they fake a bottle. So
I'm sure somebody will
You know,
figure out how
that's
to hack
good.
it at some point,
That's
right?
good counterfeit. That they're
it's
actually
good to
trying.
counterfeit.
No, like
you're
it's
right.
good, like anti-counterfeit.
For sure. In 2019, looking back here, I'm just checking the timeline. So 2019, Buffalo Trace came out and threatened resellers on some of their product. Then around that same time, we had Adam Hertz, who actually I think wrote American Pie, oddly enough,
did?
right? Yeah, which is weird.
odd, yeah.
He's a very big bourbon guy. Like he's got a big blog. He's in all the secondary pages. He's around.
And he wrote the movie American Pie.
Yeah, I think maybe
Really?
a couple of them, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Hollywood screenwriter
Nice.
is watching out for bourbon for you.
Hell yeah. Okay.
So good thing, trying to kind of out the fakes. They did it with wine quite a while ago, and then recently with these, they're so expensive. So in 2019, they threatened them, and then from there, they went 2021. They put an NFC tag in the top of Thomas H. Handy. Only one bottle to see how it would go. And then starting in 2022, they have an NFC tag in every single bottle of Van Winkle product. Okay. I think they might have an MB tag too.
Yeah,
with the antique collection.
Which would Handy.
I would so I would think I got a marketing mind. My background's in marketing. I don't know why you wouldn't put that in every fucking bottle because it's from what I understand, it's not that expensive. I mean, think about using like a QR code or something like that. All it is like a little chip. I mean,
look what they're making.
Yeah, the volume of that. I mean, how many bottles are they putting out? 20 million bottles, probably.
Yeah, but all you have to do is buy the product from a vendor that it sells it with it already implanted. That might add honestly, I think it would add maybe 10 cents. To the actual
But they're
product.
probably looking at, they're so large, they're probably looking at fractions of a penny.
Yeah, but for them from a marketing
they're looking at buying a company and making their own is what they'd be
yeah, but then from like a marketing perspective, you got everybody scanning that. All of a sudden, you can market your product and you go straight to their page. So instead of everybody wondering if it's legit or not, they're going to pull up a page that's nothing but Van Winkle marketing or Buffalo Trace marketing. You know what I mean? Or
for sure.
Heaven Hill, and it's like all of a sudden you see a list of all these resources that you can click on and you can get more information, and then you get like sucked into the system. Like,
or even
they should
just
put it in every bottle,
or even just like one of those little scanned QR codes, like on a bottle of Buffalo Trace. Obviously, people's not going to be faking those, but just something for marketing.
It's nice to have
higher end bottles.
It's nice to have the verification, but it does double duty of actual like marketing.
I think it ball looks fake. We need to check it out.
It actually is fake. Jason. I scanned it yesterday.
So what you got to do is you got to download the Buffalo Trace app first off, and then you go to it and you wait for it to load, and then you hit network error. That's good. Then you hit tap here to scan a product, and you move your phone close. Come on, baby.
I was hoping to get like a ping.
It wants to. It really wants to.
A few minutes later.
Motherfucker.
Is it not working now?
Yeah, now the damn thing's not working.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Ah!
Did you hear the beep?
I did. Show him, Matt. Show the camera. Show the camera. It's real.
Here, give me that bottle.
It's real.
So you know it's legit when it says photo coming soon. But on the bottom it says this product is authenticated by Selinko and has never been opened. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, and again, once you crack that seal, we're going to check it out.
Yeah,
again.
we need to do that.
They'll show you.
Yeah, it's so okay. And they've done marketing to a degree here. It says the Van Winkle Family Reserve Rye. They give a little background on it, and they give tasting notes. But this is like they could have done. They can do a lot more with this, and they
for sure they will.
Honestly, they probably will. Yeah.
They've only been doing this for a year. This is the second year they've done it. So in reality,
y'all ready to crack this open?
Give it to Jade. Let him know
Here, let's open this, and then I want to scan it again, and then see what it actually does.
Again, shout out to Jesse Kyle.
Jay's not going to take credit for all of it.
Credit. This is his bottle. He's letting us partake.
So, do you know any history behind the Van Winkle?
Is it on the wax or is it on the foil?
Let's just see how it goes.
Let me see that.
It's on the foil.
Yeah, so there it is.
There we go.
What does it say?
This is authenticated by Selinko and has been opened.
There you go.
That's fucking crazy.
That is wild.
Okay, so I want to know. Okay, I see it here. There is, there's two leads that come down the side.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it breaks those leads once you open that cap.
Cool.
So I wonder. Okay, I'm just thinking right here, right? I wonder if you could maybe like get it kind of hot, use like a heat gun,
and slip it over,
and slip the
but
foil.
I think
over.
the heat that's what shrinks it, right? I mean, we've seen
for sure.
So I don't know how.
Yeah.
I mean, so maybe someone out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the people's trying to fake that already. So, right? I mean, they're not going to. They're going to try to fake this.
Well, I think
for sure.
I read one article where the guy looked up the manufacturer who was actually doing the NFC tags. So
I could see that.
But
yeah.
So, do you know what bourbon put Pappy on the map?
No.
You got a guess, Jade?
I would say maybe just old Rip, 10-year-old, maybe.
So actually, it was Pappy 20.
Really?
So Pappy 20 was first introduced in 1994, And in 1996, that's when they got the big break, right?
Okay.
So BTI, the Beverage Tasting Institute, gave, I think, the first ever 99-point score for a product, which was Pappy 20.
Interesting.
So the rumor is that this was a rye bourbon.
Pappy 20.
Yes, meaning that it had a pretty high rye content. You're looking, I think it was around 20-ish%. Bourbon still has to be 51% corn, but it did have a high amount of rye. So, a lot of that's kind of lore back then. There wasn't great bookkeeping, shockingly.
Right.
In the late 90s, they weren't?
No, there wasn't.
Oh, okay.
No, hell no. I mean, you look up bourbon history. I mean, I think you'd agree with this even now from what we know is they maybe fudge a little bit.
It's kind of the Wild West.
It's the Wild West.
Still today.
Yeah.
But
so 2023, imagine, what is that, 29 years ago?
Yeah.
I mean, good. And then imagine 50 years ago,
Yeah.
So that bottle, that Pappy 20, was the rye bourbon from Old Boone Distillery, and that bottle has a greenish tint. So
The bottle itself.
The bottle itself.
Yeah.
Very subtle, but
It's
has
like
a
a Heineken
greenish
bottle.
tint. Not that much, but yes, very greenish tint.
I bet you it was bottled by Heineken.
It's like a Coke bottle. The old Coke
Yeah.
bottles.
Coke
It's
bottles.
like a
When they had
ORC
cocaine
bottle.
When they had, the Coca-Cola bottles.
So what
Did
do
you try
know?
it yet, Jesse? Or Jade?
No, I
And
haven't.
Jesse?
Was letting it air out a little
So
bit.
what are you getting on the nose? I mean,
I'm
probably
getting
two
more
things for
caramel
me.
than like a spice. When I think of a spice,
too.
I'm not getting like a bacon spice or like your average spices that I,
get
would normally
caramel
think.
almost like pushing like on butterscotch.
So listening to, I'm glad you said that. Actually, it jarred my memory. I see the wheels turning up here. So Preston Van Winkle was actually talking about that and saying, with wood, I've never heard this before, but it makes sense to me. So with a tree, with wood, there are sugars in that.
Yeah.
So if you like put a knife in a sugar maple, there's going to be, sticky, sweet, something coming out
Yeah.
eventually. So with all wood, there's going to be some type of sugars. Even when they do the char, it's almost like you're caramelizing the wood, the inside.
Yeah.
So when it's going into the wood and out of the wood, it's bringing some of those sugars with it.
Okay.
So he said, and he said, look, I don't have the great descriptors. I like hearing him say that.
Yeah.
Because I don't either.
Yeah.
I just make up a lot of shit. But
By golly, he's one of us.
right, yeah, for sure. But hearing him say that and saying, look, every bourbon and rye honestly has some level of caramel to him.
Right.
He said it should.
Yeah.
It kind of should.
Yeah, based on that, everything should.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what else you getting on the nose, Matt? Anything else?
I mean, I get a very slight. I actually get a slight bit of fusel in there, but it's mainly sweet. I get that butterscotch kind of caramel, just like sweetness, like all the way
Same.
through. Yeah.
I get sweet like honey, like a really good honey kind
But
of
I'm
thing.
getting like zero spice. I mean, I know
Very
spice
little.
is a taste,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Yeah.
you can
No,
smell
you can
bacon
smell
spice.
that for
yeah.
sure.
I agree with you. Yeah. It's just not there.
One of the other tasty notes I saw was like a citrus. I don't know that I get that on the nose, maybe when I taste it, but we'll see.
Put it in your mouth.
I don't know how to do that. Tastes like Pappy. It's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
damn
pretty
good.
It's like candy.
So get a little clove, like cinnamon clove, my grandma actually kind of puts that in chili, but I definitely
She
get
puts
that.
cinnamon in your chili.
And clove both. It actually is really good.
That sounds very strange.
I think doesn't like Skyline put that shit in there?
Fucking do they?
I'm pretty sure.
They have like Manwich chili. I'm not a big Skyline fan.
Yeah.
I like Skyline Bear and Gold Star, but
Well, they just got a lot of cheese. That's all I fucking care
I do
about.
like cheese.
Yeah, I don't care
Give
for
me a
any
little
of the
big
chili.
hot dog with a shit ton of cheese.
Yeah, they get the hot dogs like this big, and then the cheese is piled up like 12 inches on top
sure,
of it.
for
yeah, just
sure.
eat the cheese and throw away the hot dog.
So what do you find on the palate? What do you think?
So I'm getting the cinnamon and clove a little bit, and still the honey, the sweetness, caramel, whatever you want to call
Super
it.
sweet.
Yeah, it is. Sweet.
it is really sweet. Like I want to pick the rye spice out of it, and I can kind of get something off the back end, but it's smooth and sweet, and it's a lot of what I got on the nose. And granted, I'm kind of coming down from like a
think
head
there's-
cold, but
I think there's maybe some toffee, maybe
Yeah.
a little bit of toffee on it.
Yeah.
But like none of your typical spices that you
No.
would get off anything else in my opinion. Maybe some, not in a bad way, but maybe a little bit of leather, maybe, or some.
I could see that.
Some of those type of notes, like when you smell. I mean, I don't eat leather, obviously, but
You know, the one
Buddy,
though,
you haven't lived until you've eaten leather.
the one though that I'm just not getting at all is citrus. I'm not getting any citrus off of this. Are you?
So, I mean, I could confuse some of the maybe a little bit of the proof for something that it's kind of lemony. But
It's bright. It's like it's
right,
you know,
yeah.
It's
I don't.
bright. I don't
yeah.
know what the hell I'm saying. Bright. It's bright.
Brat.
Come on,
yeah.
damn it.
Brat.
Get it right.
Oh,
Get this shit right. Give me some rye.
No, I agree with you. I don't think I would confuse that with citrus necessarily. Again, I don't have the most refined palate, but I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just stop you there. I think you do. I think these people, and my apologies if I offend somebody. But when you're giving me tasting notes of shit that I don't even know what it is,
Yeah.
like that is bullshit.
It's just made up.
It's bullshit. It's
Yeah.
100%. You know, and just like bourbon itself, the history of it, there's a lot of things made up. When you're telling me, and I joke about this one, chamomile, like I'll get chamomile. No, you don't.
My
you don't.
my favorite. We have a really good friend. Love the guy. I'm not going to say his name, but when I was starting out in beer years and years ago, he's very adept. He's been doing it for decades, and he was waxing poetic on some of these flavor compounds, and he would say stuff like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting like walking into like a room in the middle of August when the leaves are falling to the ground." Like, what the fuck does that even taste like?
You know what though? I will go to that before I will some of these flavors. It takes me to a place. I get that, but I mean, some of these flavors people get, I'm like, what do you want?
like
it's,
something. Very
it's creative writing. Right?
It is creative.
It is,
writing.
yeah.
It is creative writing. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, it's
But don't treat me like a dumbass when I don't get that.
right.
'Cause
Yeah,
it ain't there.
and you can bring back something ubiquitous like caramel, and then you can kind of spin it, and you can be like, oh yeah, like you know,
Talk
like
to the everyday person.
yeah, like Werther's Original, you know, or just like some sort of like English toffee, you know, and it all kind of stems from like a root.
I think though the finish on this, my mouth is like still watering. Has a super long finish in my opinion, and it's not overpowering. It's not the Kentucky hug.
Right.
I'm not getting any burn, zero burn.
No, not at all.
And it's
Zero.
just, I mean, I think it's a fantastic product.
So I read a review that was talking about the proof on this being too low, quote unquote too low. In principle, I don't agree with that. I don't think you have to have a high proof to have a great drink.
You don't.
But I think I see what he's saying. I didn't mean to like talk over you.
No, you're good. I just said you know.
I kind of see what he's saying because you almost want it to prevent you from chugging it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this is really
I
good.
mean, I
and
think
it's
you could
smooth,
sit
but-
down and finish that. I mean,
Right. It's
the
like
evening, if
it's
you
like
really
I
tried.
need you, Rye, to stop me from drinking.
I can tell you right now. I can tell you right now. We all four could finish that bottle
Right.
this moment. That is one of my favorite
Challenge
pours.
accepted.
Like I really like it. You know, but you look, it says a low proof. So Sazerac 18 from the antique collection is historically about 90 proof. Now there might be some that are a little different.
Right.
And in the past, some of these were higher proof.
Yeah.
So they've been making this one since 97, 98. Back then, it was from Medley Distillery, and in Bernheim, they had some mixes in there.
Okay.
So Medley's like Owensboro. I think it's Green River. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not 100% clear. And then Bernheim, of course, is out of Louisville. So the old Bernheim distillery, though, some of the most famed ryes that you've heard of, especially secondary wise or like Chasing That Unicorn,
Right.
the Willet ryes, some of those older ones
yeah.
are from
yeah.
Bernheim.
Right.
The Red Hook rye, that's probably one of the best you'll find. Red Hook is from Bernheim. And then Rathskeller, Rathskeller.
Jesus.
All those ryes come out of that Bernheim place. Okay. So there you go.
That's cool.
That's the more you know. I need that little thing again.
the more you know.
I still have that saved from one of the other episodes. I'll just
I know you should. You should. I appreciate that. So anything else y'all would say about this? And Jesse, thanks for sharing this with us. We really appreciate it
you.
for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anything
Pop
else
the
y'all
big
would think? So
bottle
let's talk. Is it worth it or not? I mean, that's what we do on the show. So $120 MSRP. Not going to find it for that. I think all of us would say yes if you could, right?
Yes.
Let's be realistic
Yeah,
and
yeah.
say 300. So would you pay 300 for this bottle, man?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All day. I would buy multiples at 300.
100%.
Okay,
so
what about 1,300?
that's exactly my next question.
1,300.
That's God,
1,300. I'm a pass.
But then this goes back to I mean my qualms with the market in general, which I know we're kind of it's hopefully tapering off, but fucking I can't imagine buying any bottle for $1,300.
Right.
That's absolutely insane.
No bottle's worth $1,300, but
Third
if
one
you want to justify it, if you had a couple bottles that might be worth $600-$700 a piece,
Yeah.
and you're like, those bottles are okay,
Yeah.
but I want this one. I could see trading to this one
Right.
or selling those and buying this one.
It's
I
So
would
if
agree
you
with that.
justify it that way, I get it. But otherwise, I can't
Yeah.
come out of pocket $1,300 for a bottle of bourbon.
No.
I just
Yeah.
can't.
Well, it's all relative. Yeah. If
is.
you have the means, yeah, and if your means are other
For sure.
bottles
If I'm making
or-
$1 million a day,
Exactly
then
right,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, I'll
And
buy
you know,
it.
if you
give
had
me 12.
three,
Yeah.
if you had 3 CYPBs for
Yep.
$60 each, yeah, I would probably trade.
So you
3
got
to 1.
180 in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I look at it too. So, is it worth it retail 100%? Is it worth it secondary? Probably not. What is? But if you can justify it by trading or selling a bottle to get to it, then yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
worth it that way.
And going back on I think the BTAC Thomas H. Handy is the only barrel proof rye Buffalo Trace does.
I think you're right. I mean, Saz isn't. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at ryes. There's just not a lot of ryes out there. I mean, what are some ryes that come to your mind when you say rye?
I would honestly think Baby Saz, just
Sazerac?
Buffalo Trace Sazerac.
Yeah. Pikesville.
Pikesville, that's a very good one. I mean, Old Forester makes a good rye.
Yeah.
I mean, just, off the top of my head, that.
Oh, the Stellum one from Costco. Shout out.
Stellum's very good.
I mean,
I haven't even
it's
had
$40
that one.
for cast strength.
Is it good?
117.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
good. It's
Really? I
it's
think
very
it's good.
good.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like
that.
the. I mean, I
one,
like
too.
the Russell Reserve 6 year too. I mean, I think that's solid.
I mean, rye, though, it gets kind of a bad rap. It's been around longer than bourbon, but it's not renowned. I mean, you have a lot of bourbon drinkers that have this refined palate and all these, they can wax poetic, but they don't like rye. I mean,
Right.
if you
it's like
usually.
it's like going
a
from
stigma.
bourbon into like fucking Scotch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
for
just
sure.
completely different medium to a lot of people.
100%. And then most of your ryes, I mean, they make a great old fashioned, right? Or they make a
Yeah.
great Manhattan mixed drink.
Exactly.
Something. So that's what people are using them for. I mean, not with this.
Yeah.
But how do you think Pappy enjoyed his Pappy? Not rye, but how do you enjoy it? I know the
Fucking in
answer.
a bathtub.
I do.
You know the answer?
Yeah.
I
What
think
is
he
it?
took, I think
Ice
he took a
cubes.
bath.
He put it on ice.
I think it's Julian the third.
Oh,
but
okay.
Pappy enjoyed it with a splash of water and a squeeze of lemon.
Really?
Really? Really?
Best
I
of the
mean,
best stuff
so
and
and
not
that's the
drinking it
thing.
neat.
Yeah.
Well, so like, but okay, put it in perspective though. Like if we got this bottle now, and we're like, hey, let's put a fucking splash of lemon into it. People would be slapping you in the face. You know what I
Right.
mean? But
Yeah.
back then, when it was made in this guy's
he made
basement, right? That's what I'm saying. Like fucking, you can probably do whatever you want.
But he always held quality number one. Even if I can't remember the saying, I'll butcher this, but pretty much saying you make great whiskey no matter the cost. If you make a profit, great. If
Yeah.
you don't, you still make great whiskey. Yeah. And that hurt him. I mean, that's not good business sense.
So what do you think has changed like nowadays, everyone pushing out, these ryes and bourbons compared to say in the early 90s, in the 80s? Do you think
Couldn't
it's
sell
the
'em.
do you think it's the ingredients, the quality of ingredients? Because like you said, the quality, is the big thing because everyone's like, oh, you need odor stuff.
I think
You
it's
need
the-
the dusties. You need this.
I think it's
just
the
not the same.
zeitgeist. I think it's the
Zoom top.
Yeah, excuse me. I think it's people's opinion. I don't think it's anything like tangible. I
Because
think
it's odor, it's better.
I think that like it starts with like a few like people that can influence a few other people and just kind of spread that idea that, oh my gosh, we've been sleeping on this, and all of a sudden it gets popular.
Because like genetically, corn is, it's probably at the best, highest yield, highest whatever, the tallest that it's ever been. So you can't say, oh, the corn was better back then, or hey, the rye was better back then.
Probably could technically with like genetic modification and stuff
Yeah.
like that, but at the same time, I don't think it's really gonna like change at
Right.
all.
Well, something's to it because they're trying to replicate Stitzel Weller at Buffalo Trace, Warehouse X. They're trying to replicate it. I know the Van Winkle family is very much trying to replicate that.
We need to do just like a Warehouse X episode.
I'd love to go there. Just get us in. Just get me in.
Just fucking like undercover. I'm gonna get one of those cameras that will be like a button on your shirt,
Yep.
and we'll walk around. And
They
just,
can
like,
use that Men in Black little like memory wiper.
Yeah, you remember this, like,
fine.
whoop, whoop.
We
Yeah.
still got the camera though. We'll remember.
we'll
We'll
just
remember.
flash them. Yeah. No, I think people are the main driver behind that. I think
Oh, I don't know though. I mean, there's something special about the Dusty Pours.
I think it's romantic to think that way.
Yeah, but it tastes different.
So back then when people were producing the Dusties in the ceramic bottles to try to like do additional marketing to get rid of them,
That's right.
and people weren't buying them. But then you fast forward 30 years, and all of a sudden, people are like, "Oh, this is amazing." I understand it's an older product.
What do you think?
whatever,
You think it's
but
the water? You think the water, maybe the water that's not extra purified or whatnot's holding
good
back
point. Maybe
compared
that's
to
what
the
it
water
is.
back then?
'Cause they didn't have the quality
Something
then.
might
I
have
mean, it-
pissed in it
That's
upstream, and it'd
right.
been. I mean, realistically,
No shit. No. I don't disagree with that. That could be. I've heard the timber, the logs, what they make the barrels of could be it. I mean, I think it could be anything. But you think with that kind of variation or those variables that you would have batch to batch not consistent. But if you look back then, if everything holds up, if the cork holds up, if everything's done correctly in the bottle, it tastes pretty consistent.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, but again, it's distilled at such a high proof, it should kill about anything. I mean,
Yeah,
in
you would think.
reality. So
I think the question is, how come your great grandpa didn't appreciate the bourbon that we appreciate
Shit,
when
mine
your great
did.
grandpa
could have got it.
could have got it? No
well, he
problem.
did. My grandpa drank it all.
Yeah,
Royally
that's-
speaking,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like generally speaking,
Yeah,
like
get
the generation, like how come they didn't appreciate what they had until we realized?
Because back then they didn't have it. I mean, back then they couldn't give it away. Everybody was
Yeah.
going
Why?
kind of where we are now. You're going to seltzers now. You know,
Yeah.
we're going back to vodka. We're going back to tequila. Tequila is what, the number one
seller in the United States.
yeah,
Past
in,
2
in
years.
the world too. Like it's the fastest growing spirit. So if you rewind to 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, that's what people are drinking. They're drinking Canadian Club, like a blend that's dark a little, but they're also drinking rum, tequila, maybe not tequila, but vodka,
Vodka's
gin.
huge.
I mean, it's just, it's clear spirits. And that shit's easy to make. It's cheaper than doing bourbon. Takes less
Right.
time. So, I mean, that's what the companies want. You talk about the big companies, the Diageo's, the Sazeracs. I'm sure they love to do that and not bourbon. It takes up less space, right? Just pump
Less
it out.
space. You don't have to pay the barrel tax.
It's like White Dog.
Year
Just
after
pump
year.
it out, cut
Right.
it, let's go.
I actually, for the record, I actually enjoy White Dog, like just raw by itself.
Really?
In
Raw
fucking
dog.
small
Yeah,
quantities. Yeah, raw. I
Your
enjoy.
raw
I
dog
enjoy a
and
good
White
raw
Dog.
dog.
So one of the tasty notes I had on there is vanilla frosting. I don't know that I'd go to that extreme, but I get it. I mean, there's
So,
some...
I feel like vanilla frosting is one of those things we talked about, to where it's something you could take vanilla and you could expand it into quote unquote vanilla frosting.
Well, it's almost like
because-
vanilla caramel. You think, you know what I mean? It's like
right.
It's swirled
Exactly.
up, creamy.
Imagine that, like that evolution. You know that not taxonomy, that from the words going in, like,
Genealogy.
from like vanilla to vanilla caramel to vanilla frosting to cake, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, it tastes like fucking cake.
Yeah.
And I think that's what like a lot of people, that's in their minds, that's where they go.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you got that artistic, what do they call it? Like artistic license. You can just say
Yeah.
whatever. So I don't know.
How much? So how good do you think your palate is, Jason?
Average?
Average?
No.
You think you can? So I've been doing research for the past 36 hours on.
Bullshit.
No, he has.
Let me say on and
Him's
off. I'll
both.
say on and off.
We have a Dropbox full of info.
Of approachable. I mean, like, shelf options that are similar to Van Winkle Rye. Do you think you could pick this out in a blind?
Yes.
In a literal blind.
100%.
Okay. Because I have my custom made blindfold
It's
for
like a
you.
COVID mask.
Stand
It's exactly
6 feet
what it
away.
is. Yeah.
Go behind the counter.
Pour me small on that Van Winkle Rye.
Are you okay with us pouring another?
I don't need much.
Well, I don't want you to like recognize the glass that you had it in. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to
Yeah.
take my headset off to get this on.
that's fine.
Can you see, Jason?
No, I can't see anything, Jay.
Okay.
Quit smiling at me. There's the mic.
I can hear you.
You have to put a still shot of it.
How do I look? How do I look?
I
bumped my nose.
COVID can't get in your eyes right now.
You got me with a blindfold episode, so I had to return the favor. I thought about getting 2 masks to put over his mouth and his nose and his.
Is that an N95?
It is for sure. It's not fitted though.
So I got my.
I'm ready.
All right.
So I
you
can't
see?
smell it. No, I can't see shit. I see whitish black. Like it's just like faded.
All right, that's good.
You have to put it like close to my hands because I don't know
Yeah,
I'm
we
gonna knock
will.
it over. Jay, just tell me which one's which.
No thanks.
So how many pours am I gonna have?
So we're gonna do 3. We're gonna do them really small because we don't want to waste the rye.
I like it. I like it. So are they all ryes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they are in fact all ryes.
I am at a slight disadvantage with no nose. I can't get any nose flavor. You know.
That's okay.
Let me get my 3rd bottle here.
I'm going to pull it up just a little bit. I still can't see.
If you get this right,
Oh, I'm going to get it right.
we will give you.
I don't think
I get the bottle of Van Winkle Rye.
Yeah, we will give you an extra pour of any of these non
Any of the Van
Ryes
Winkles.
that you want. Yeah.
This is a pretty solid blindfold, man. I ain't gonna lie.
So I was like thinking
pretty
about it, and
solid.
I was like, dude, that would make a perfect blindfold. And I tried it on. I was like, holy fucking shit, this is actually great.
Yep. I was like, Matt, here, let me try it on. I was like, no, okay, you can't see anything out of it.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna put here. I got to make sure that everybody knows which glass is which.
Okay.
I just showed the camera.
Show them. I got this shit.
All right, Jade, bring his hand to the first one.
Okay, right here. This one.
That's the first one.
Yeah.
All right.
You're going right to left.
All right. So I'm just going.
Yeah. This is A. This is A. Yeah.
I really can't smell much, so let me. Just,
Well, you've been under the weather, so.
all right. That is my lord. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's a great. That's a
one's
great
gone.
malort.
We started out.
Oh
okay,
shit. The palate's done now.
So here's the trick. We're gonna try to like ruin the next 2 for you. Okay, try this next one. Give him number. This is number B.
Give me,
Okay,
give me one.
here's
Give me
B.
one. Is this piss? Is this deer piss? Gosh damn. That is not. Oh,
So-
That's not okay. Wait. You said that is not Van Winkle Rye.
I
Are you
mean,
sure?
no, my palate's destroyed after Malort. So I do not think that's Van Winkle Rye on the first sip. No,
All right. So then,
it tastes. I don't know.
Okay,
what
so
rum
do you want 1 or 2 again?
is one of them Van Winkle Rye?
I can't tell you. You have to figure it out.
I don't want one again.
Okay, let's try 2 again.
I'll go back to
Let's
2.
go. Well, actually, let's try
Try 3 and then
Okay.
revisit if you want to.
All right, this is 3. Still really can't smell much. Yeah, I think it's 1.
No.
Oh my god.
Here.
Do you want to try?
2.
Do you want to try 2 again?
Here, you want a drink of water?
Yes. Okay.
He was. So he was on the fence on 2. Which one is 2? Is it
Two's
this one?
this one.
That's 2. He was on the fence on 2. I want to see if he doesn't know which one is.
My palate's shot.
I want to see if he can figure out what they are. Okay.
That was my lord, right? I mean,
Which one?
The first one.
This is number 2.
Here's 2 again.
You were on the
All
fence
right.
on number 2.
All right. I think it's number 1.
Two.
Oh God.
So,
That's awful. That is awful.
so which one?
Which one do you think is the Pappy
Fuck,
Van Winkle Rye?
None of them. None of the motherfuckers.
Dude,
None
you
of 'em.
said you could pick it apart.
I could. That's wrong. Ugh.
All right, are you ready for the big reveal?
Yeah, can I take my blindfold off?
Hold on 1 second.
I don't
We're
want to
gonna
hold
line
on.
the bottles up.
All right, I'm gonna put all the bottles in front of each
Yeah, it's
glass.
probably just 1.
All right, you ready? Take your blindfold off.
I take my headset off. Well, at least I was fairly consistent. Now for that shit, I get the damn bottle of Winkle Rye. God.
I gotta say right off the bat, yeah, you were. I think the first one shot, and then the second one you're like, I can't fucking taste anything anyway.
Matt wanted to do that before he tasted it, and I was like, no, let's let him taste it first.
Oh,
I was like, damn, if number 2 was that, there's no way I could do that.
would you like to try any of them
I'm
again?
good.
No.
It's Jake's turn.
I'm good.